Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. Here's a breakdown titled The Mongol Empire, separating fact from fiction that highlights the truths and common myths surrounding one of history's most powerful and misunderstood empires, the Mongol Empire, separating fact from fiction. Fact: the Mongol Empire was the largest land empire in history. At its peak in the 13th and 14th centuries, the Mongol Empire stretched from Eastern Europe across Asia to the Sea of Japan, encompassing parts of modern-day China, Russia, the Middle East, and Central Europe. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel. The Mongols were merely brutal barbarians. While Mongol conquests were often violent, the empire was also highly organized and strategically advanced. Genghis Khan implemented a meritocratic system, promoted religious tolerance, and developed an efficient communication system, the Yam. Fact: Genghis Khan united warring tribes before building the empire. Genghis Khan, born Temujin, united the fractious Mongol tribes through diplomacy, strategic marriages, and force. This unity laid the foundation for the empire's rapid expansion. Fiction: the Mongols destroyed every city they encountered. While some cities, like Nishapur and Baghdad, were brutally destroyed, others were spared or even thrived under Mongol rule. Cities that surrendered often became vital trade and administrative centers within the empire. Fact: the Mongol Empire facilitated trade and cultural exchange. The Mongol Empire revitalized the Silk Road, ensuring safety for merchants and travelers. This led to increased trade between East and West and enabled the spread of technologies, ideas, and even the Black Death. Fiction: the Mongols had no interest in administration. Contrary to the image of them as perpetual warriors, the Mongols established sophisticated administrative systems, often incorporating local bureaucrats and adopting the best practices of conquered civilizations. Fact: the empire practiced religious tolerance. Genghis Khan and his successors allowed the practice of various religions, including Islam, Buddhism, Christianity, and others, as long as they didn't challenge Mongol authority. Fiction: Genghis Khan was a mindless killer. Genghis Khan was a brilliant strategist and visionary leader. He reformed the Mongol legal code, Yasa, promoted literacy among the Mongols, and valued loyalty and skill over noble birth. The Mongol Empire, separating fact from fiction. The Mongol Empire, forged in the windswept steppes of Central Asia, remains one of the most fascinating and misunderstood empires in world history. Spanning the 13th and 14th centuries, it became the largest contiguous land empire ever known, stretching from Eastern Europe to the Sea of Japan. Yet with its reputation for fearsome conquests and ruthless warriors, much of what we believe about the Mongols today is a blend of truth and myth. Let's unravel the facts from fiction. Not just barbarians on horseback. Popular imagination often portrays the Mongols as savage barbarians, uncivilized nomads who left nothing but destruction in their wake. While it's true that Mongol military campaigns could be brutally efficient, labeling them as mere barbarians ignores the sophistication of their society. Genghis Khan, the empire's founder, was not only a formidable warrior but also a skilled diplomat and strategic genius. He established a meritocratic system where talent and loyalty were rewarded over noble birth, and he united the Mongol tribes under a single vision, a feat that had never been accomplished before. Destruction and diplomacy, a dual legacy. It's undeniable that the Mongol invasions left trails of devastation in cities like Nishapur and Baghdad. Entire populations were sometimes massacred as warnings to others who resisted. However, this was only one side of their legacy. Many cities that peacefully surrendered to the Mongols were spared and often flourished under Mongol administration. The Mongols revitalized major trade routes, including the Silk Road, providing security and stability that allowed commerce and culture to flourish. Their rule brought about an era of increased contact between East and West, influencing everything from art and science to cuisine and language. An empire of tolerance and ideas. Contrary to popular belief, the Mongol Empire was surprisingly tolerant when it came to religion. Genghis Khan himself consulted shamans, Buddhists, Muslims, and Christians, and he welcomed religious leaders into his court. His descendants continued this policy, allowing freedom of worship across their vast domains. This tolerance was not born of modern liberalism, but of pragmatism. Keeping diverse populations content made governance far more manageable. In addition, the Mongols valued knowledge and innovation. They employed Persian, Chinese, and Arab administrators to run their vast bureaucracy, adopting technologies and administrative systems from the cultures they conquered. They also established an impressive relay communication system known as the Yam, similar to a postal service, which helped keep the far-flung corners of the empire connected. Genghis Khan, more than a warlord. Another common myth is that Genghis Khan was little more than a mindless killer. In reality, he was a visionary leader who laid the foundation for a surprisingly progressive empire. He introduced a codified set of laws called the Yasa, promoted literacy and trade, and maintained a disciplined army loyal not through fear alone, but through shared purpose and earned respect. His ability to adapt and learn from other cultures made him one of the most successful rulers in history. The Mongol Empire is a story of contrasts, destruction and creation, terror and tolerance, chaos and order. To reduce it to a tale of bloodthirsty conquerors is to overlook the empire's immense impact on the development of global civilization. Like many great powers, the truth of the Mongols lies somewhere between fearsome legend and transformative legacy. The Pax Mongolica, peace through power. For nearly a century, much of Asia lived under what historians now call the Pax Mongolica, the Mongol peace. It was a time of stability, where merchants could travel from China to Europe without fear of bandits, and scholars could exchange ideas across borders that had once been fiercely guarded. The Silk Road, dormant for centuries, came alive again under Mongol rule. During this period, the world grew smaller. Gunpowder and papermaking traveled west from China. Persian astronomy and medicine made their way east. Even European explorers, such as Marco Polo, found passage to the court of Kublai Khan, Genghis Khan's grandson, in what is now Beijing. The Mongols had turned their empire into a bridge between civilizations. A legacy beyond the sword. The fall of the Mongol Empire did not come suddenly but gradually, as internal divisions and local rebellions eroded its once unified strength. The idea of religious tolerance, the spread of new technologies, and the concept of a connected world, all were part of the Mongol legacy. They helped end the medieval isolation of Europe, they fostered international trade on an unprecedented scale, and they challenged the idea that only civilized empires could shape history. For better or worse, the world they left behind was forever changed.